Hi Tarot Tribe, it's Ethany and we are at 31 Days of Tarot, and today I am going to be recording the last 3 days together as my son is not well. I was up with him most of last night and he's not getting any better. I may not have a lot of time to record over the next few days while I'm taking care of him. So I'm taking advantage of the time I have now, and I'm just going to put days 29, 30, and 31 together. So without further ado, today's prompt, day 29, is: what are your beliefs around the mechanics of a reading? How do you think it works? Is it your subconscious, higher self, spirit, etc.? And this comes from community member Ilan of Avni, who has a channel here as well on YouTube. So I actually have a blog post and video from a couple of years ago on this subject, where I unpack how I believe a tarot reading works and the elements that come into play when we're doing a tarot reading. So I'm actually going to post that in the description below. So you can actually, if you want to spend some more time with me on that, go through the ways in which I believe the tarot works. Now, the Cliff Note version of that is, I believe that it is a cocktail. I think that there are things like our cultural beliefs, our background, our environment that which we were raised in, if we have any religious beliefs, our spiritual beliefs, they are all one element of it. Then we have our society, and that's another element of it. Then we have our brain, our right and left side of our brain, so our memory, in regards to when we memorize the tarot card meanings. Then our memories that are associated with the tarot archetypes and the tarot card meanings, like many of us will have a situation that's happened in our lives that is quite a representation, or that we connect with a card, a specific card. So all that comes into play. And then there is, if you work with any of your clairs, that all comes into play. So for me, it's a multi-layered tarot cake, or a tarot cocktail, as I called it in my original tarot blog and video. But I think that there's a lot of things that come into play, and it also boils down to how the individual wants to work with the cards and how they believe it works as well. So it's all well and good for me to say all these things, whereas if you're not a spiritual person, you have no interest in using the cards as anything but like a problem solving thing, or you just want to do use it as your rote learning, you do no spiritual stuff at all, that's totally fine. So that personal choice and personal preference comes in at the end there as well. Okay, day 30. What is the most culturally inclusive deck that you own? Now, these are decks that I have in my collection. I realize that I don't have every tarot deck in existence. And these are just 3 that I brought out that I feel have very inclusive representations. The first one is the Next World Tarot by Christy C. Rode. I backed this on Kickstarter. I've just received it in the last month. My box got banged to crap, which is kind of annoying, but the cards are fine. I haven't done an unboxing of this yet. I haven't taken it out. I haven't gone through them. I took it out to make sure none of my cards are damaged. But I know from the images from the Kickstarter, and even you can just see on the front there, that this is going to be a very inclusive deck culturally, and modern as well, right? Like a modern perspective on the tarot. So that's one, and I'm really looking forward to digging into that and going through that one. The next one is the Wheel of Change Tarot. Now, I'm very lucky. I have the set with the very big book. This deck has got cultures from all over the world represented. Some of the cards are pip, they don't have any people in them. And some of the cards do. But it's such a cool, that's got 3 guitars on it. It's very cool. But it's a really beautiful deck. It is very inclusive. And that's the whole point of it. Like, it's meant to be like more of a world view tarot. And it shows like, it's so cool, hey? So, and it's not a deck that, I mean, I'm glad that I've got the guidebook, for example. Like, I would want to work with the guidebook. So even the 10 of Wands there has world flags. You know, we're all on this big spinning ball of water together, people. No one gets out of here alive. We should all start freaking acting like it a bit more. Like, even this, like the tools of Egypt, like the papyrus and all that. It's just such a cool deck. It's really cool. I haven't done a flick through of this. I probably will at some point. I just, I haven't gotten around to it. So this is a very, like the Maypole, this is a very culturally inclusive deck, I find. So that's the Wheel of Change Tarot. I'm a little nervous to use this deck because the card stock, I'm kind of nervous to ruin it. And finally, the Urban Tarot, which I backed on Kickstarter many moons ago. It's a very modern deck. It's a bit shiny, so it's not going to show up very well. But I have a unboxing of this in my, I'm pretty sure on my channel. It has, what I love about it is it not only does it have a lot of different cultures represented in it, but it's also got elderly people with which a lot of decks don't have. So I kind of love that about it. I think you can still get this deck. Like I said, I got mine. The Devil is so cool in this deck. You know, I got mine a long time ago when it got kick-started. And, you know, so I'm not quite sure if you can still get it. I'm trying to find more people and it's not. So it's a really nice deck. So that's another culturally inclusive deck with a lot of different representations in there. So that's day 30, and then day 31, thanks to Shona Hill for sending in this prompt. What is your favorite tarot apps? Do you work with them? On what platform, whether it's a smartphone or a tablet, etc.? So I used to have a lot of tarot apps. I had apps on my phone. I had like this Psychic Tarot, John Holland's Psychic Tarot on my phone. I had a Brian Froud. I had a Froud one on my phone. I just didn't use them very much, and I had a ton on my iPad. I'm sure I could go back to like my past purchases and like restore them all. I have a blog post about that as well, about apps, free apps that you can use, and I will put that in the description below as well for you all if you want to have some tarot apps. I just wasn't using them as much. I like the Ritual of Tarot. I like holding my cards. I don't want to be like zooming in and out from an app and having to like, I find the navigation of it a little bit weird. Like you pull, for one card, it's like super great. If you want to pull a card, you're on the train or whatever, that's amazing. Or as someone said at the Tarot Readers Academy Tarot Jam, which we just had, it's a really good study guide as well if you want to have that on your phone while you're looking at another card. But like if I got a bigger layout, I find that navigating is a little bit harder because I want to see the whole thing and like be able to pick things up and put them down. And maybe my brain isn't wired that way, but I do think they're really cool. I think that it's great that people, you know, you have them and that it's accessible to people. So as much as I don't use them anymore, I did have apps and I did try them, and I do recommend them for people who are more techno inclined. And that is it. That is the last day of the 31 Days of Tarot. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined me on the journey this year. I have got a huge watch list for videos. It's been a very busy month, and we were sick earlier in the month too. It's like never-ending freaking cold here in Vancouver. But thank you so much to everyone who has posted videos and posted on social media and, you know, commented on videos and been amazing and been an awesome part of this community. Couldn't have done it without you. Wouldn't want to do it without you. Thank you. And I'll see you next time I post a video.